How does a building, just bricks and mortar, become a legend? We're about to dive into how one single place, over just a few short years, became the absolute epicenter of the entire cultural universe.
Okay, so it all starts right here. One building. We're talking about Madison Square Garden, sitting smack dab in the heart of New York City. And it's all happening in this incredibly concentrated period of time. It's like a cultural big bang that just echoed across the globe. Yeah, because from 1970 to 1974, it honestly felt like every single important moment on the planet was happening under this one roof. So how? How did that even happen? All right, let's step inside. Welcome to Madison Square Garden. Between 1970 and 1974, this place hosted three events that would basically define an era: a legendary championship, a global boxing spectacle, and an absolutely unforgettable moment in rock and roll history. And it all kicked off with the hometown heroes. For New York, this was so much more than basketball. This was the story of a team that perfectly captured the grit and the grace of the city itself. I mean, just look at the sheer talent on this roster. This wasn't just a team. It was a collection of future legends. You had Willis Reed, the captain, in the middle, the impossibly cool Walt Clyde Frazier running the whole show, the hard-nosed Dave DeBouchet, and the super smart Bill Bradley. This right here, this was the foundation. And listen, they weren't just good. They were historically dominant. That season, they posted a 60-22 record, the best in the franchise's history. They were just a force of nature, an unstoppable train heading straight for glory. But their path through the playoffs? Oh, it was anything but easy. As you can see here, it was a gauntlet, a brutal 7-game series against the Bullets, then taking down the Bucks, and finally an epic 7-game showdown against the Lakers for the title. The entire city was on the edge of its seat.
This number right here says everything about the city's passion. 19,500 people. That was the attendance for every single home playoff game. Sold out. The Garden was absolutely electric, the true epicenter of all of New York's hopes.
But just as the echoes of the Knicks championship started to fade, the Garden prepared for something even bigger. This wasn't just a city story anymore. This was a global event. Remember the Knicks capacity? Well, look at this, 20,455. Almost 1,000 more people packed into the arena. The demand for this one night was completely off the charts. So the question is, what were they all there to see? They were there to see this: Ali versus Frazier. It was so much more than a fight. It was a cultural flashpoint. You had two undefeated heavyweight champions, two clashing personalities, and they represented two different sides of a divided America. And it all came to a head right here. The scale of this thing was just staggering. A ringside seat cost $150. Now, that's about $1,200 in today's money. And the purse for each fighter? An unbelievable $2.5 million. That's nearly $20 million today. The numbers were just astronomical, unlike anything anyone had seen before in sports. It was, as one source put it, one of the most anticipated and publicized sporting events of all time. It wasn't just a big fight. For a moment, it felt like the only thing happening in the entire world. The Garden had officially gone from a city stage to the world stage. So how do you top that? I mean, how do you go from a city's championship dream and a global sporting spectacle? You evolve. The Garden became the ultimate concert hall for the biggest music superstar on the planet. To really understand the gravity of this next moment, you have to get who Elton John was in the mid-70s. Look at this reign of dominance. 7 straight #1 albums, a top 40 hit every single week for 3 years. He wasn't just a rock star, he was the king of the music world. And so, on this specific night at the Garden, during a sold-out show that was already the hottest ticket in town, Elton John did something truly unexpected. He brought a friend on stage to play a few songs, a friend who just so happened to be one of the most famous people on Earth. And there it is, a Beatle, on stage at the Garden for what would turn out to be the last time he ever performed live in public. An unscripted, unrepeatable moment of music history, just happening right there. So let's tie this all together. A championship, a global fight, a rock and roll farewell. In just a few years, one building witnessed it all. These are really the three pillars that built the legend. It started with sports, the heart of the city. It escalated to spectacle, the focus of the entire world. And it culminated in music history, a moment that could never happen again.
And that's the legacy. From the roar of a hometown crowd to the flashbulbs of the world's media, all the way to the final chords of a music icon's career. The Garden wasn't just a venue. It was the main character in the story of the early 70s.
And it leaves us with this final thought. What is it that truly creates a legend? Is it the brick and mortar, the structure itself? Or is it simply being in the right place at the right time to bear witness to history that can never, ever be repeated?